guys. It's been a while since I last uploaded, but given this coronavirus and the fact that everyone's stuck in, I thought I'd do a video, reach out to you, kind of see what everyone's going through. I live in England, and I must say we've literally just locked the country down. I'm in a very fortunate position that I work from home and I've got a games room, which is quite handy. So literally we were locked down tonight, but it's a fucking good thing we were locked down, because before that people weren't paying any fucking attention to social distancing whatsoever. So it'd be really interesting to read what's happening in your countries, where you are, and what's happening, like whether people are taking this seriously. Because usually in England, people don't take this shit seriously until someone either very, very close to them dies, or if children start dying. So for example, the awful attacks in Manchester, the Ariana Grande concert where terrorists, killed children, the whole fucking country, the whole world was in uproar. England has got this very stupid, very strange mentality where we don't think something is going to happen to us like it's happened to Italy. And that mentality is causing the destruction, the slow erosion of our NHS, our national health system, which is the backbone of England. There are too many doctors and too many nurses that are fighting this disease, and they are becoming seriously fucking ill. Apart from the fact that we haven't got nearly enough respirators for people to use whilst their lungs are giving out. The fact that we haven't got nearly enough supplies, masks, like general stuff, like we're running out low on masks and gloves for your hands. I went to the supermarket today. I was the only one wearing a bandana to cover my mouth and nose. I was the only one wearing gloves. There must have been 200-300 people in the shop doing fuck all, just milling about, living their life. And I was just thinking, I'm here to get supplies, bread, milk, eggs, like supplies that we can self-isolate. These people just don't give a fuck. I mean, totally don't give a fuck. I saw this idiot in Tesco's today in the supermarket, if you don't know what Tesco's is, shopping for a blender. Like, how is that a necessary thing on your list? I don't understand people. Meanwhile, we're supposed to be keeping this 2-meter distance thing. I'm stepping out of my way to avoid people. People are like trying to walk past me. People that I haven't seen, like they're behind me. They're walking, like literally brushing past me. No one gives a fuck. So thankfully tonight, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has locked down the country effectively. It's not martial law, but it's pretty close. So you're not allowed to leave your home unless you're doing one bit of exercise or it's a necessary trip. Like, for example, you're going to the supermarket. People are still going to flaunt the rules. We haven't got enough police on the streets to make sure to enforce this. So if you are caught walking, it's very easy to say to a policeman who happens to stop you, yeah, I'm going out for my, daily exercise. Whereas in fact, they're probably going around to their mate's house. My parents-in-law, my wife's parents, they're going to play golf tomorrow. Like, what the fuck? I guess each to their own, but unless we start listening to the experts or start listening to common sense, this is not going to stop. I mean, literally, this is not going to stop. We've already seen the erosion of our financial system. My business, like many of yours, is probably in the toilet. I was a company director of a very successful recruitment company. There's no recruitment anymore in this new world. there's just very, very little going on. And now I find myself going from a six-figure income to applying to drive a delivery truck for for a supermarket. And I've got no shame in admitting that. You know, a lot of people, elderly people, or those most at risk, need food. And if I can help them and be on the front line, it'd be a pleasure to. As long as I've got my gloves on and my mask, I'm fine. So, this has hit us all to such a degree where we didn't even think this was fathomable. Literally, think about what you were doing on New Year's Day. Think about what you were doing 2 months ago when this was a little news story in China and we weren't really paying much attention to it and giving it the credit it deserved. No one knew, but this has just hit us like a fucking tsunami. It's scary. Scary. People that, thankfully, look, I don't know anyone that's died, but I do know 3 or 4 people, friends who are infected, or at least we think they're infected because we can't get the tests. So, this is how the world's going to be going forward. In fact, I heard an expert today say, from this point in going, in the future, the coronavirus will always be in our system. We will never be able to eradicate it. And going forward, you might have the flu, you might have a variant of the coronavirus. This is something that's here to stay. Now, if it's attacking the lungs, which it is, attacking the respiratory system, I'm an asthmatic, so I'm at high risk. But I was listening to a doctor the other day, and he said something quite poignant. He said, even if it doesn't kill you, this is doing catastrophic, long-lasting damage to your body, almost as if you were a smoker for 10, 15, 20 years of your life. That is the effect. Even if you weren't a smoker and then you catch this, that is the damage it's doing to your lungs in certain cases. Think about that. Think about having never smoked a cigarette, but yet having the lung capacity of someone that smoked 40 cigarettes a day for the last 2 decades. Dying of emphysema, or, oh my God. Jesus Christ. I can look past the financial system on its knees, because everyone's in the same boat. No one has been spared. Everyone in the world is in the same boat. And that, there's good and bad. The bad is obviously obvious. There's this killer disease that we've got no cure for. We're not even close to getting a cure. And yet, people are dying and the ages are coming down. Everyone thought, it's of the older generation, and then all of a sudden it's 60, 50. Last night in England, an 18-year-old died. You wait until this, God forbid, hits kids, till they're affected, till they're not just carriers, but they're actually on the front line dying. This is really bad shit. On the flip side, because obviously that's all the negative, we know the negative, but I think it's important that we look at the positive. The positives are that it's brought the world closer together. We are FaceTiming each other. We're doing way more exercise than, or at least, me and all of my friends are, on our own or with our families. We're doing way more exercise than we necessarily would. The kids are off school, so I get to spend more time with my son, who's 4.5. My wife, bless her, has written up like a class schedule, so to keep normality in the home. But yeah, like I said, the good things are that I've become, I'm talking to my friends, I'm watching less TV and talking more to people. which I kind of missed. I missed having that relationship with a couple of my friends where work gets in the way or life gets in the way. And then this has taken us back to basics where we only really have each other for comfort. So every one of my friends is now locked into their house and we're just speaking to each other on FaceTime. Or actually, my wife has got this new app. I don't know whether you guys have it, whether it's a big thing, whether we're like the last to catch on. And it's called House Party. And it's a video chat with several people. So I think you can all, like 15 of you on the same iPad will all be talking to one another. You're all talking to each other live. This House Party app. So if you haven't got it, download House Party. Get your friends to download House Party, and you can have a group chat. And it tells you which of your mates is online at any one time. So it's actually really, really cool, especially for this coronavirus. I'd love to hear in the comments section what you guys are going through, your stories, how your health service is handling this, whether you know anyone that has got this, whether it's light symptoms, whether it's medium symptoms, whether it's, really fucking bad symptoms, or God forbid, whether you've actually, someone that's passed away, that's died because of the disease. Because in England, the fact that these idiots, a large portion of the public are sensible, but there's the pockets where 200-300 people will go to a bar after they were told to about social distancing. They'll still fucking pummel into a pub. Or there was a video that was released recently of 200 or 300 people, or 400 people actually, going into Tesco's, standing next to each other like a bottleneck. Like, what does it take to get through to these people that you are inadvertently killing people? That's effectively what you're doing. By you going out, whether you have it and not knowing about it, you're passing it on to other people. And somewhere in the supply chain, within 10 people, someone's going to die. And then that leads on to 100 people, to 1,000 people, to 10,000 people. I don't understand. Firstly, I can't understand two things. Firstly, why the British government, didn't lock down the country sooner. And secondly, why people don't heed the advice of medical experts. Like, what do you need to know? You can catch it from people. If you stay away from people, you can't catch it. Okay, that's pretty obvious to normal people, but some idiots, no care. I was also, when I was in the supermarket earlier, I saw a family walk in, father, mother, who was about 8 months pregnant, and a child. So obviously, there's 3 of them, soon to be 4 of them. And I'm thinking, why didn't the mother, the heavily pregnant mother, wait in the car with the son and the dad just do the shopping? Like, seriously, they weren't wearing masks, they weren't wearing gloves, they were walking like past people, brushing past people within their vicinity. Like, and I felt like saying something, but we have this, as I'm sure most countries do, you don't want to get fucking stabbed. These people didn't look savoury at all. They looked like Romans. So I wasn't going to say anything, but they are they're putting people's lives at risk. They might have it, they might be passing it on to someone. They might not have it, not give a fuck about social distancing, catch it. She's 8 months pregnant. God knows what it's going to do to her unborn baby. How difficult can it be to stay away from each other? Anyway, I felt like I had to do a video like this. We're all in the same boat. It'd be nice to know what you guys are going through. I sincerely hope you're keeping well. I don't want bad health to fall on anyone. And I'm sure we all have stories, but this is the time in our history, in our lives, that it should unite us. 1, to get rid of this terrible disease, and 2, to see the good in humanity rather than the negative. Stay safe, guys. Yeah, I hope I see you on the
on the flip side, like